Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Jedi In Exile. It's episode 2 of Bad Batch. We've had another one drop. Absolutely incredible. Now, I know Matt is normally the one who does the chef's kiss, but this, for me, just had everything. So, let's get stuck straight in. Matt, what did you think?
I love this.
Yeah.
I know it's right. So I know it's called
We love
Bad
everything.
Batch.
Spoiler alert. We love everything Star Wars. We're sorry.
I know it's called Bad Batch, right?
Yeah.
And I know that this wasn't really about the Bad Batch, other than Crosshair.
Yeah.
But what an incredible episode!
Yeah.
I feel like there's
For
just
the prequel lovers, it was just there.
oh,
wasn't
it was so good. So it was like 30 minutes. I think this one,
Yeah.
slightly longer. 30 minutes of actual Disney Plus time. That's probably what, like 25 of actual viewing. But I feel like they crammed so much into 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, even just little bits that give us such a massive insight into what is going on. Yeah. So we talked about the fact that they're talking about the legislation that's essentially is it the recruitment bill?
Yeah,
that's basically talking about bill, pulling normal civilians into the military and phasing the clones out, which we've seen elsewhere within.
And I think the reason, obviously, they want to do that is in this episode when, and obviously we will move on to this in a bit more detail, but Cody and Crosshair have the conversation about more regulars going AWOL.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of clones aren't happy with the direction
What's
the Empire's
going on,
and the orders they're, having to give. And Cody gives the line, he said it, good soldiers follow orders. So they want people who are going to want to be part of the Empire, want to bring order, and will just follow all those orders kind of no matter what.
Yeah, and I think this is like the massive shift for me. Is the whole we were talking about it just after watching the episode. This whole kind of the clones switched for that instant to carry out Order 66, turn against the Jedi. Yeah. And I kind of said to you, they're programmed to do that, and obviously they've built a relationship with whoever their Jedi general has been throughout it. And it was just crazy to think that happened in an instant. But this is them.
But they're still the same people.
Yeah, and this is that now kind of easing back out, they've carried that out, but then they've kind of gone, as much as I did that because I followed my orders, that didn't feel right.
Everything they were fighting the Separatists and what they were doing. So the Separatists were taking over planets, they were blockading, they weren't allowing aid or food to come to, citizens of Planet X and Planet Y. They're now doing that as the Empire. So they are now taking over planets and, dragging the people through the mud so that they, resist.
Well, the crazy thing is that this was, this is supposed to be post-war, right? So the war is officially over.
Yeah.
And yet you've got the Republic, still at this point, going to a planet and employing a covert team to go in under the guise of a diplomatic mission to take somebody out, essentially, which is not what the good guys do. And we were talking about the fact that this is a massive turning everything on its head, because we touched on it in the previous episode about the whole fact that the clone troopers who were in episode 2 and for some of episode 3, the good guys are now the bad guys in this situation.
The Bad Batch are now the good batch, and the old good batch are the bad batch.
But the people on the planet, is it Desix? Is that what it is?
Yes, Desix, yeah.
Are just trying to get on with their lives. Yeah. And they don't want to be ruled by the Republic. And basically, because they don't want to be ruled by the Republic, they're then an enemy. And they go, right, well, let's send in the troops.
Yeah, it seemed weird to be rooting for the battle droids and the droidica.
Yeah, it was so
on
weird.
Desix. And obviously we get a character who we have, I want to say mixed emotions, because I feel like I do, who was welcome back, which was Cody. Sorry, I was about to say Kenobi then, on the mind. So it's Cody, who obviously was Obi-Wan Kenobi's clone commander.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see him, and obviously he has the conversation with Crosshair at the War Memorial on Coruscant, and then clearly he's given the order at the end of the episode by the governor to kill the previous leader of Desix, and he, doesn't want to do it. He's promised, peace, etc. And the governor's saying, you need to shoot her, that's an order. And in the end, Crosshair does. So Crosshair is now like, there's no way of him coming back, I don't think. I think season 1 kind of ended where you were kind of thought, or maybe he will go with the Bad Batch on the ship and leave with them.
Yeah, maybe his sense of like brotherhood is stronger than his sense of duty to the Republic. No, and I totally agree. The one thing I would say I maybe disagree with slightly is I feel like when you say this is like his line in the sand and that he can't, like he won't, I feel like this shows that he is still very much in the headspace of good soldiers follow orders and he's going to be a good soldier. However, I do think that there is a very subtle difference in how he wakes up at the start of the episode, where it looks like he slept, and then he wakes up just before his alarm. And maybe I'm inferring something that isn't there, but it looked very much like he was already laying wide awake, like he hadn't slept very much. And then the fact that he has the news broken to him that Cody's gone, I feel like there is that potentially that sense of doubt that
because he will have seen Cody as a good clone, as a good general, a good commander. He will have seen him as like a typical like a Model A student kind of thing, Model A trooper. Yeah, it was really interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. It seems like there's almost going to be like maybe 2 storylines in this. You're obviously going to have the Bad Batch with Omega, and then you're going to have like Crosshair and the clones in the new Empire's army.
I really hope that we get some like a proper Cody redemption arc here, because and when I say redemption arc, I feel like that's maybe a harsh way of putting it, because actually he's not really done that much wrong, because he was programmed to follow orders and shoot and try and kill Kenobi, and then after that we don't really see much of him, so we don't know what's been going on. But obviously he is still like good at heart from the fact that he's decided that no, this isn't right, this isn't how it should be. But I really hope that we get like some him joining up with maybe Rex and the Bad Batch, like kind of linking up a little bit. I think that would be really, really awesome to kind of see a bit more of him and actually get to explore more of, because we know why Rex is the way that he is post Order 66, right? It'd be interesting to see somebody who actually went through Order 66 and then has had to deal with the consequences, and whether we get a little bit of that, he feels guilt towards the fact that he turned on Kenobi, knowing that he was, kind of...
Well, they get to know their Jedi, don't they? Yeah, I was going to say, they get to know their Jedi, and they must know, as much as the Jedi were seen as, like, obviously a cult, it's a religion, etc. People didn't really know a lot about them. They've just been told, that they're corrupt, they were trying to take down the Republic, etc. The clones must know that probably isn't the case. As much as they're programmed to maybe believe that, and obviously they've just been given an order, they must start to think, well, actually, Kenobi was a good person. He fought for, like down and outs. He, fought against the Separatists who were the enemy, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it's interesting to see that these clones, even though they have that implant and that chip, how they may be overriding the traditional thought process.
I think... I know I touched on this slightly in the previous episode, but where we kind of said that the Clone Wars was written off as a kids' TV show, but actually kind of grew with the audience and dealt with some kind of more like adult and grown-up stuff. But I feel like this is really setting it up to be like dealing with something quite mature, because it's really asking some quite like moral questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how things kind of fade in and I don't know. I'm really excited. I feel like this series and Bad Batch season 1 and what looks to be happening in season 2 definitely kind of took that one step further in regards to seeing the transition from the Republic being the good guys to the bad guys. Like that we get to see that a little bit more in depth and explore some of those themes a little bit more. So I'm really excited to kind of see what happens. I said to you very shortly after we watched the episode that I hate it because Crosshair's so badass and I absolutely love the guy, and I hate to love a villain, but you're just rooting for him to turn so that you can feel good about rooting for him.
I think there was one thing that we spoke about, and we did have to Google it because we recognised the name, but we weren't sure entirely where it came from. But there was a mention, obviously, the governor of Desix. This Iwani Ames, I think it was. Well, she says about how she used to believe in peace, and she put forward proposals, a treaty that was signed by Republic senators and Separatist senators, and it was done with Mina. Is it Ben Terry? I think or Del Terry?
No, Ben Terry. I think it was
Ben Terry. And we see him and his son Lux in a few episodes of Clone Wars. So again, it's Dave Filoni dropping these little Easter eggs.
The little crumbs that lead us back.
That just really stuck out for me. So there's the episode of Clone Wars which came to our mind straight away, where Separatist and Republic senators involving Padme and Ahsoka go to Mandalore, which of course is independent in the war, neutral. And they have discussions, and then obviously the episode escalates from there, and it runs into a little story arc of I think 2 or 3 episodes. But yeah, it was interesting just to see again someone from the past brought back.
And I said to you, it's really ironic that she says, Count Dooku was right.
Yeah.
And actually, we know Count Dooku was right in that the Republic was corrupt.
Yeah.
Ironic that he was part of that corruption.
It'll be interesting to see whether Separatist senators are in the Senate building.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're all supposedly amalgamated into the Empire. So, you might find Separatist senators that we've seen in the Clone Wars series are actually going to be in the Imperial Senate.
I found it crazy that, and this is continuing that whole thing of seeing the Republic and the Clone Troopers go from being on the good side of the war to now being on the bad side of, I know the war is over, but on the bad side of things. Yeah. It's just really funny that you are essentially rooting for a separatist team, a separatist senator and planet to win over the Republic. Is so weird, but I absolutely love it, and I really hope that that's what they continue to do with this, is kind of question what we see to be the normal side of things.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're obviously, like we say, so excited for the rest of it. So guys, that's our review. Thanks so much for watching or listening, no matter how you stream the Jedi in Exile. We really appreciate it. If you've got any thoughts or comments, then please do leave them on our socials. And our socials are on our channel, so please do follow every medium that you can. So until the next time, may the Force be with you all.